out here, I got to give you a full physical before I put you upstairs. So I get my hospital smock, shower shoes there, and first thing she did, she took my blood pressure, pumps it up. I was 162 over 116. I wasn't overweight, running every day, but she looks at me, she takes it again, 3 times. She says, well, we put you in the hospital for that alone. I said, well, what can I say, ma'am? She said, what's this pain you're talking about? I said, you know, I don't know. I've had it for a while. It only goes away when I drink. My liver. Then she says, I got to do all this blood, do all this tests on you. And she said, sit down. I got to determine if you were suicidal before I put you upstairs. I said, hey, don't worry about it. I've never been suicidal. Don't worry. She says, sit down. I'll determine that. Okay. So I sit down. And she says, first question, she says, tell me what you think this means. What does it mean that a rolling stone gathers no moss? What does that mean to you? I remember looking at her and said, you know, ma'am, I don't have a goddamn clue what that means right now. She said, are you serious? I said, I can't get that together right now. Hey, listen, you don't go in and out of Notre Dame being stupid. I graduated from Notre Dame in '63. But at age 42, I couldn't tell you what a rolling stone gathers no moss meant. That's how sick I was. So they stuck me upstairs for 4 days and sent me over to rehab, and spent 6 weeks in rehab. On 24 May 1984, I graduated. They have a marble ceremony. They call you up one at a time, 1,300, give you a black marble, signifying you're getting your marbles back. But they only give you one. I can't tell you what that meant to me to get that marble. It's hard to describe what it meant to me to get that marble. So there's a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous, and you know, I don't represent anybody, I'm just here to talk. But there's a saying, if I want to keep what I got to give it away. I was talking to a room full of staff NCOs over at Camp Foster in Okinawa. I had 16 years sober. For some reason, I reached in my pocket, told these guys, you know, if anybody's sick and tired of being sick and tired, you can have my marble. Never thinking anybody's going to take my marble. Well, a master sergeant came up to me afterwards. He said, Jack, can I have that? I said, you serious? Yeah. So I gave it to him. I don't know if he's sober or not today. But what I do know, bear with me a minute. I just spoke to one MEF in August. Two sergeants major came up to me, said, hey Jack, you remember giving me this? I said, no. He said, you gave me that when I was a corporal in Hawaii. I'm sober since. Ah. Gave me both a big hug. So, how did I become an alcoholic? I was born Irish Catholic alcoholic from New York. Does that sound like it's meant to be or what? Alcoholic, this is all my opinion. If you disagree, it's up to you. We live two lives. One we live inside our souls, and one we show you guys. The two never meet. You know, when I was a 17-year-old kid, I was a good kid. High school All-American. I got a scholarship to Notre Dame to play basketball. Inside, I didn't feel like I belonged. I was a couple of clicks off. You guys understand that term. I was just a couple of clicks off inside my soul. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like I belonged. You know, and I felt looked like I belonged. You know how I started drinking? I was 17. Upstate New York. When I played basketball in those days, we used to have a gymnasium, and they after the game they put sawdust on it. They have a sock hop. Well, you know, this little girl from Troy, New York. I really had a big crush on her. I was scared shitless to ask her to dance. You know what I mean? She'd say no. Go out in the parking lot, have a drink of Carlene's Black Label beer. And incidentally, I love that shit as soon as I had it. And I went back in and asked her to dance. If she said, no, you know what I said? I don't really give a shit. I'll ask somebody else to dance. Tell you the truth, that's how my drinking career started, 17. And I know that's underage drinking and all of that. So, I went off to Notre Dame. I got my letter when I was a sophomore. And we got initiated in the Notre Dame Monogram Club in those days, and they strip you down, put you in jock straps, shower shoes, and away you go. Got initiated with all the football guys, and after the initiation, we had a party in South Bend, Indiana, and I must have had cherry pie at the Notre Dame picnic. It was a long time ago. You know why I know that? Because I roomed with the starting center of the football team. And he and I got our letters together at South Bend. I got sick to my stomach first time. Ugh. I puked on Bill. Old cherries on his legs. I said, when he wakes up, he's going to kick my ass. He woke up. Bill said he got as drunk as me, and we made light of it. But I tell you that because I'm ashamed of it, even after all these years. No, that was 1960. Throwing up on your roommate. The hell kind of a guy is that? So I'm just starting to drink. I always wanted to be a Marine. My cousin came through the door in World War II wearing his greens, and I said, that's what I'm going to be. And I get out of Notre Dame. I joined the Marine Corps right away. With the 9th Marines, got wounded twice. Valentine's Day, I get a severe wound in my left foot. Got medevaced. And, well, I'm laying in a rice field, and the gunny gives me a shot of morphine right in the thigh. And I said, the gunny, isn't that shit supposed to take away the pain? I'm supposed to know this as a lieutenant. He said, it is, sir. I said, well, give me another one. That didn't work. He said, I can't. I may give you an overdose, Lieutenant. Be quiet. So the helicopter came and got me, took me away to Charlie Med in Da Nang. I begged 2 Navy doctors, don't take off my leg. Please don't take off my leg. So they let me keep it. I had 11 surgeries and stayed in the Marine Corps. To draw that story a little further, a year ago, October, I went back to Georgetown because the guy's going to rebuild my foot after all these years. I had an operation, and 3 weeks later, I got gangrene and infection. And 29 October 2009, they took it off. So here I am. I got to tell you guys, I've got a lot of respect for our young Marines and sailors who have lost their living. Let me tell you something, it ain't easy. These double amputees, how the hell do you go to the bathroom with dignity in this world? So, but the Navy doctor and 2 nurses were in my room taking off my bandage to show me my stump. And the Navy doctor was an intern, and she says, you want to see it? I said, hell yeah, I want to see it. So she shows me my stump with all the stitches on it. She said, how do you feel about that? I'm okay, don't worry about me. I said, matter of fact, I'm going to run the Marine Corps Marathon in 2011. And I'll be 70, incident. So all the doctor and the 2 nurses laughed their ass off at me. So guess what? I just wrote C.G. at Quantico. said, I need a ticket for the marathon, and I need 3 for the Navy nurses down in Virginia. I sent him one. So I don't know if they're dying of a coronary down there or what. But I'm going to do it. I've done 11 of them when I was in the Marines, but I'm going to do it again in 30 October, and I may take 2 days to do it, but I'll do it. So I got evacuated to Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines the next day after I got wounded, and this very good-looking Air Force nurse comes down the passageway, and she says, "You Lieutenant Colonel Matthews?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Well, you know, I've got some prescribed medication for your pain." "Really?" "Yeah." She says, "Roll over and drop your pajamas." I did. She gives me a shot of Demerol right here in the left bun. Have any of you guys ever had that? Holy shit. You go through the squad bay like this. I said to her, "Hey, ma'am, what was that?" She says, "That's Demerol." I said, "That shit's wonderful." That's wonderful. She said, "It is strong, isn't it?" "Yes, ma'am, it's strong." I'm not a drug addict. I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you guys. I've never had a puff of marijuana in my life. Marine officers didn't do it in those days that I know of. But I'll tell you what, I could punch a button every 4 hours in Balboa Naval Hospital for about a month. Night or day. Navy nurse comes down, "You got a little pain?" "Yes, ma'am." Demerol. You know why I punched that button? Because I want to go like that. One for the pain in my foot. I'm being very honest with you guys. So I could easily be a drug addict. I'm ashamed of this story, but I'll tell you. I roomed with a guy who got shot through the knee, a helicopter pilot who got shot through the knee, and a guy who bailed out over North Vietnam, and all 3 of us were rooming together in Balboa. General Holland M. Smith, you know who he was? CGF PAC, World War II. Icon on the Marine Corps. He comes in for a routine checkup in the VIP room. Someone brought a case of Michelob and a bottle of Jack Daniels in the hospital to celebrate George being rescued from North Vietnam. And I'm drinking a shot and a beer on Demerol. Someone said, "General Smith is in the hospital." Someone said, "Let's go give him a beer." Sounds like a hell of a good idea to me, so we got 3 wheelchairs and down we go. I don't even remember meeting General Smith. I came to in a hospital room, and they had the side rails up and all that. Miss Gray comes down, she says, "You're in big trouble, all 3 of you guys. You're going to go to Admiral's Mass for drinking and raising hell in the hospital, disturbing General Smith." I said, "You're kidding?" She said, "No." So they put us in pajamas and took us to Alpha Side. I was a junior guy. I didn't last, and Admiral Warden, a 2-star, who's a big enabler. I'll tell you what enabling behavior is in a second. Admiral Warden says, "You were the worst, Lieutenant." He said, "Do you remember what you told General Smith last night?" I said, "Admiral, I'm sorry, I don't even remember meeting General Smith." He said, "Well, you gave him some shit last night, the way he conducted the Iwo Jima landing." I said, "You're serious?" He said, "You did. You owe him an apology." I said, "Well, I'm ready, sir." I said, "I don't know anybody Iwo Jima. I saw the John Wayne movie as a kid, but I don't know anybody." He says, "You knew a hell of a lot about it last night, Lieutenant." I tell you that, and I'm totally ashamed of it, but where's that alcoholic babble coming from? Where is that coming from? So now the enabling behavior. Admiral Warden says, "You know, you can write a letter of apology to me and to General Smith. Case closed. If you don't, we'll send your case to Marine Corps Recruit Depot for NJP. Which would you prefer to do?" Pretty easy, isn't it? Wrote the letter. Went back to full duty eventually. I'm telling you the bad stuff. You know, I was the director of DI school for 2 years. One of the best duties I ever had. So, you know, they don't give that to shitbirds. They say, you know, you may step across the imaginary line, you may become an alcoholic, you know, and I stepped across the line in Okinawa.